Welcome to my channel, Notorious Crafts. In this video, I will show you how you can make some miniature wands, some that are made from wood and some that are made from crystals. Here are all the supplies that you'll need to make some miniature wands. I also have this really big blue cutting mat so that I don't end up scratching up my surfaces. There are links to the supplies that I use down below in the description. I have this bag of clear crystals, and it's best to use crystals that are as thin as possible. It took a while to find these ones. I had to do a lot of digging. I had to buy them online. I couldn't find them in a store. The thin crystals look the most like wands. I also found some of these crystal-looking beads and some that are very colorful, so it'll give me a nice variety of making some magical wands like this one right here. Since they are beads, they do have holes through them, so you'll be able to see the hole, which is why I ended up wrapping them in some string so that you can't see the hole and so that they will end up looking more like realistic wands. I have some toothpicks, which will be really easy to turn into some wands, and they have some pretty decorative looking sides to them, and these ones are just slightly different than the other ones I just showed you. Toothpicks are really great to use for miniature making, which is why I always have a really large supply of them. You'll also need some glue, some brown paint, and some string or twine, and something to cut with. Also not shown here, I will be using an X-Acto knife to cut the toothpicks. First up, I'll make some wands from toothpicks. And since these ends are really pretty, I'll want to keep them, so I'll end up trimming the toothpicks using my X-Acto knives. The toothpicks are very long. They're a little bit longer than what a wand would be. I'm also wearing my protective finger gloves whenever I use these X-Acto knives so that I don't end up cutting up my fingers. To get the wand shape, I'm just going to keep cutting away at the toothpick very slowly until part of it is chopped off completely. And some of these cut marks will also help give the wand a little bit more character so that it's not perfectly smooth. Using some sandpaper, I'm just going to smooth out some of the really rough edges and just some of the extra pieces of wood that are curling out of it from cutting it. For this other toothpick that is made from bamboo wood, I'm just going to repeat the same process and just start cutting away at it to make it a little bit shorter and look more wand-like. I found that this bamboo wood toothpick was much easier to cut up than the birch wood toothpick. Not sure why that is. Maybe bamboo is just an easier material to cut, but it was much easier. Next, I'm going to make a different style of wand. So instead of using the nice pretty edge, I'm going to cut it and measure it next to my other wand that I just cut and try to make it a similar size. And then use some sandpaper to smooth out the edge that I just cut off. I'm going to mix some of the dark brown paint with water to dilute some of the really dark color so that I get more of a wash and it'll look like a wood stain. I'm also painting the wand over a paper towel so that I don't end up staining my cutting mat. And then I'll just continue painting the rest of the wands the same exact way. Next up, I'm going to make some crystal wands. With these ones, I will try to find the most thinnest and longest ones that look the most like a wand. With the crystal beads, I'm going to do the same thing, just try to find the longest ones and use those as my miniature wands. Next, I'm going to wrap these wooden wands in these crystals with some string around the ends to make them look like a wand using this string and tacky glue. I'm trimming the string into smaller strips, and then I'm going to use my fingers to unwind them until you can see the threads. And just using small drops of glue, I'm going to place it on the toothpick and then slowly start wrapping the string fibers around the toothpick. And I'm going to keep adding some more layers of string until I get a good looking handle of the wand. Tacky glue also dries clear, so I don't have to worry about it showing once it dries. For the crystal bead, I'm going to repeat the same exact process as I did with the toothpick. I'm going to place the glue and string around the edge that has the hole and use the string to cover up the hole of the bead. If some of the string fibers keep sticking out, just add a little bit more glue and just use your fingers to pat them down, and they'll eventually stay down when you add some more glue. Next up are the crystals without any holes in them, and for these you could use any edge that you want to cover them up with the string and twine. With these crystals without any holes, you could also just use them as a wand. You don't have to wrap them since they are very long and you don't have to worry about covering the edge with a hole like the crystal beads. I am going to wrap at least some of them up so that I can have a really large variety of wands. And here's the final result of all of the wands. I love how all of them turned out, especially these crystal ones. I think the colorful crystal beads ended up being my favorite ones. And same with the really pretty toothpick edges. They give these wands so much character. Let me know down below in the comments which one of these is your favorite. As always, thank you so much for watching and see you guys in the next video.